Alrighty, it is time for the RGH podcast with KackisHD, True Vanguard, and Mtashed. Today we're going to talk about a whole bunch of gaming stuff. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because we've got some hot topics. Hot off the press. Dr.
Even
Lupo.
hotter hosts.
Yes, true. Very true.
Hot topics, hotter hosts. That's what they say.
Right.
That's what they say.
That's why the three of us are together for the sex appeal. Can we say that on YouTube without getting demonetized? I don't know.
Too late. Too late.
Pretty
honestly.
sure.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Dr. Lupo and Timthetatman are leaving Twitch for YouTube gaming, and maybe more to come. China bans gaming for 18-year-olds and below. Witch Queen looks insane for Destiny 2. One of the biggest DLCs I've ever seen. Apex top strafing outrage. There's a big kind of, I don't know. It's a very understandable controversy. It feels like we've had a lot of similar arguments in Destiny with like the quick swatch or the quick swap glitch or whatever, right?
It's just so nice to be on the outside looking in rather than being in the mosh pit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun to watch people beat each other up than to be in the pit getting hurt.
We should say also, acknowledge we haven't been here for 2 weeks. We're sorry about that. Also, some people were a little upset about the super last minute announcement last time that we weren't able to do it, but we thought we might be able to do it last week. It was pretty touch and go into the last minute, so that's why we apologize. But we're back. We're not going anywhere, and you'll have us making.
You're stuck with us.
You're gonna get our terrible takes for the next many weeks to come. So don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I mean the unfortunate thing is, I was supposed to fly out Monday to Monday, and I was gonna be able to record and everything, but instead, my flight got delayed Wednesday to Wednesday during when the podcast was supposed to go. Like I was MIA, and it was just really bad timing. But we are back, and let's just get into the topic. So yesterday, Dr. Lupo announced that he was going, or I guess 2 days ago. One day. Because today was the first stream, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, literally yesterday it was Lupo.
And so Lupo signed a exclusive contract with YouTube Gaming, is leaving Twitch. He's been at Twitch, this whole time, and he's been one of the most, I would say, positive, charitable. He supports women. He supports, all types of marginalized folks. If you want
some of the biggest charity events in the history of Twitch.
Yeah, literally one of the biggest fundraisers ever. And he is now leaving.
Big creator, well known. Like, he might not, I don't want to sound like I'm not being disrespectful, but like he might not get the most insane viewership as compared to other streamers. He gets unbelievable, like any of us would kill for his viewership, right? That's not what I'm saying. But his name recognition is insane because the people who do get those insane numbers play with him. Like, he played with Ninja when Ninja was popping off, right? Like, he was one of his go-to guys. And now just like Dr. Lupo plays with a lot of the kind of main Twitch streamers. And so he has that massive brand recognition.
His name
think
carries a lot of weight.
Exactly. Like that's an important thing to know. It's like his viewership is fantastic, but it's beyond that.
The other thing too is, I mean, we're going to touch on this as well. Twitch is in the middle of a huge controversy with, all the hate raids and stuff. And, Lupo is one of these like shining lights on Twitch compared to a lot of people. There are people that have more viewers, but a lot of them are shitheads. And it perpetuates that almost like toxic vibe of Twitch. Is like there's hate raids, and the only people that are left are scumbags like me. Yeah,
And then that was a big thing. And then today, Timthetatman, again, huge streamer, like has had astronomical numbers, but also has that recognition factor. Like he plays with, he used to play with Dr. Disrespect all the time. Be like Timmy, like you would always call him Timmy, and he plays with Nick Merckx all the time, and like all that stuff.
Lots of celebrities as well.
And I really wonder, dude, if tomorrow it's like Nick Merckx is coming over, right? And it's that squad. They all play Warzone together, especially Warzone, right? Are they all is YouTube getting all of them? Like that would be like to go and get all those guys that all play together and bring them all as like a pod of people would be insane.
Yeah, no doubt.
Some of the biggest names in streaming.
Man, YouTube's just making some like massive plays, and here's the thing: their plan. You have to respect that they have a plan. So many, you look at the other platforms. If we look at the three platforms side by side, you've got Facebook, who I recently just ended my second year with them, but their strategy for the last few years has been let's throw a lot of money at talent. Let's just pay content creators to come over. And that'll fix our platform will be popular. But they didn't do anything. They did very little during those 2 years, very little to improve the viewer experience and to modify the viewing, their platform in terms of like what features and stuff that they have. So very limited work done there. It was all just spend money on creators. And then you've got Twitch, who's on the other end of that spectrum where they're like, we're not handing out contracts. We've got the best viewer experience. They're very complacent. And then they're too busy trying to put out fires these last 2 years then continue to make meaningful changes to how they treat the creators. And creators are starting to get burnt out, starting to get aggravated. And then you've got YouTube that's like, listen, we have money, and we're going to pay some big creators to come over. But we're also working heckin' hard to continue to modify the viewer experience and get new features. So they introduce clips and the super chat stuff. Like all this stuff has come that mirrors a lot of the things that viewers love about Twitch. They've got a plan, and I think it's working.
Like, let's be real though. Like, YouTube does have its fair share of problems. Like, YouTube's not the perfect platform. It went through the demonetization. Like, we even have a demonetized symbol because YouTube is known for kind of, you swore? Suppressed, right? But and then there's always the controversy of like certain content is like for all ages appropriate, but like other content which in comparison is somehow like suppressed and demonetized, and there's that big debate. But in terms of streaming, it's like a pretty solid platform. I've also seen people say that like you can stream really high fidelity, like 1440p or 1440p 60 fps, and like in a game like Tarkov, like that actually matters.
Being able to like see the targets and have good lighting and all that stuff, right?
Improves the viewer experience. Yeah, when you're in like a gunfight in Tarkov in a dark hallway, and the viewer's trying to see like what's even shooting at.
Yeah,
right.
Twitch, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Twitch has upgraded the quality that you can stream at in 8 years?
The
7
start since they began.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
been a hot minute.
And the thing with YouTube is I feel like they're not done. They're trying to kind of compete with TikTok with the YouTube Shorts and everything. They added $100 million creator fund for that. They've put a whole bunch of money into YouTube Shorts and trying to add that. They want to control everything. They want to be YouTube streaming, YouTube gaming, YouTube TikTok, YouTube they want everything covered. They want to monopolize everything and be the place to be. And I understand that maybe Twitch was the place to stream or is the place to stream, but there is going to be a time, and it's probably very soon, where what is the competitive advantage of Twitch? Other than we were first and everyone knows us. What is the competitive advantage? Right? You got a bunch of racists botting. You got a bunch of like, I don't know. You've got no bitrate.
We've gone over controversy after controversy after controversy and like all the DMCA stuff, right? And it's like YouTube has to deal with that as well. I'm not sure, but I feel like it's a little bit of a different experience, and I think YouTube even has its own library where you can like pick like music from it and stuff that's fine to run their platform. Right. Twitch did it, but like didn't label it correctly, and people were like picking the wrong things where it's like, oh, this music's okay if you're like streaming a live performance. It's like, who does that? 3 people? Like, obviously, most people are going to be streaming when gaming or doing whatever, or in a hot tub or doing whatever. Like, make sure you denote what music is for what. So, like, we've literally covered Twitch fumbling the ball over and over and over again and just doing all this horrible, like, it's not even, you know, obviously the DMCA is a big law that they could easily challenge. Like, Amazon has the resources to change that law tomorrow if they wanted to. But they handle it so poorly. They go out, they delete people's life's work, right, with no notifications and stuff. Yeah. And it just seems like YouTube's in the perfect spot to pounce. Because, like you said with Mixer, there's definitely a different thing. Because Mixer was poaching big people. Mixer got Ninja. Mixer got Shroud. But like you said, like they never really improved the baseline performance of the streaming service that much. They didn't really add too many new features. They were just like, let's get the biggest people. The difference is like, if you take Ninja and he's on Mixer now, you've got to use Mixer and you weren't using Mixer before. But if YouTube gets Timthetatman,
who doesn't have YouTube?
Who doesn't have YouTube? So like everyone has a YouTube account already, right? So they just watch him on YouTube. Because you were watching his stream highlights, you were watching other content on YouTube. It's not like you're going to a totally different service.
Yeah. And one of the biggest things to me is that it's not that YouTube doesn't fumble like Twitch has fumbled. It's that YouTube had these same fumbles a decade ago, 2 decades. I mean, they've been around. They know how to deal with situations like this. They've been through it several times. They've got the infrastructure. I mean, they've got all that experience, and they also have the viewers. I don't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but YouTube has a heck of a lot more active users than Twitch. By a landslide.
It also seems like the people running YouTube know what they're doing. You know, like we kind of joke about Twitch, where it's like, who is managing that company? But
the sombrero thing,
right? Exactly. They make these bonehead decisions. But YouTube, it's got Fwiz, it's got Susan, who, like, honestly, I think Susan's done a great job, like in a lot of different cases, and like working with some creators to make change. And
he's definitely. I think they're not off the hook. I think YouTube still has I want to just really quickly say, like, they do have a terrible claim and reporting system where like they have these people in like a basement that no one can contact, and if your video gets flagged, even if you have like a partner, like remember I think we talked about like Critical, his video got flagged and he has a YouTube partner, someone at YouTube who works for Google, like, and the guy's like, I can't even contact these people, like where the frick are these people, like I can't even get a hold of them, right? So YouTube certainly has its issues, but you know, Susan at least has done some interviews and discussed some of these issues. When's the last time the Twitch CEO has done like an honest interview like that? I don't think I don't even, maybe he has. I certainly don't know about it.
No, the Twitch CEO comes out and is like, we had a great year in music after they DMCA'd everyone, God, right?
That was
they're just brain dead, bro. Have you seen the Devin Nash video on the Dr. Lupo move? Actually, no, but that guy is a very smart guy talking about marketing. The thing is like, there are a lot of, you know, we already kind of touched on YouTube. We talked about Mixer. But the thing about YouTube is, like, YouTube streaming has been around for a while. People do already use YouTube. But, like, I feel like YouTube streaming is much further along than even Mixer was. And, like, how willing people are going to interact with that, in my opinion. I feel like they probably didn't have to pay as much as Mixer as well because it's a little bit safer and they already have their brands. But YouTube still probably gave them.
Yeah.
What do you think they paid them?
Over like multiple millions, probably.
Do you think 10? Do you think like 10 million or do you think like 5 million?
Who knows, man?
Because I know like apparently Ninja and Shroud got like 20 million for Mixer, but that's also a bigger risk going to like a brand new platform and everything, right?
And
YouTube,
you could
have an
argue,
audience.
I mean, I would take the 20 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I would have taken the 20 million. But you could definitely argue that did hurt him in the long run. Is like the shift to Mixer, the closing down of Mixer. Where's Ninja now? YouTube?
He's streaming on Twitch.
He's on Twitch.
But he's not exclusive. He doesn't have a contract on anywhere.
Okay, so now he's back on Twitch. It's like, I feel like you lost viewers with each move.
Probably.
Right? Like, because if you go to a different platform, like, how many people are going to follow you? And especially, like we said, no. But, like, especially Mixer, right? It's a little rough. You're going to lose viewers every time you move. Now, you can build that new audience, but the thing is, YouTube gaming isn't going anywhere. YouTube gaming, I will admit, Facebook gaming it looks like it's here to stay. Mixer just disappeared off the face of the earth. Like that, so you just had like a lot of like lost souls in that regard. Mm-hmm. But like YouTube isn't going anywhere. Like that is a safe move. YouTube is not going to dissolve. Like, could you imagine, right? Like, no, Google owns it. Like, there's no chance.
Well, and there's also there is a price for career suicide, regardless of what anybody tells you. I mean, if somebody offered me $20 million to work for them for a year and then be done streaming, like,
bye.
Yeah,
it's been a great run, everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, at the end of the day, I mean, he still made mega bank, and he still got enough viewers to sustain him and his family, no problem. He may not be making the same amount of money on Twitch that he was before then, but he made the biggest paycheck of his friggin' life, and he's probably never looking back.
And maybe he makes more. Yeah. Like, who's to say he doesn't make more? Because Lupo is pretty child friendly most of the time, and like maybe there's a ton more people gonna watch him just from the TV at home and stuff like that. Like, and if they add gifted subs on YouTube, which I'm sure they'll add, I bet you every feature that Twitch has, YouTube is working on. And so, you know, they're getting a big payday, but they might still get huge audiences and make just as much. But like, I think in one of the articles, Lupo is like, I absolutely did this so I can not stream as much and secure my family, and I'm set for life. So it's got to be a lot of money. Yeah. He already has a lot of money. He's a multimillionaire. He's already a multimillionaire. There's no questions about it. With the sponsorships that he's getting and the sub counts that he's had on average, there's no way he isn't. You can just look at his view counts, you know, on YouTube highlight videos and stuff from Fortnite, and he probably made a couple million in a couple months from Fortnite. So, you know, these guys are
gonna wonder, like, will these announcements drum up interest?
Right.
It's not like, you know, Lupo or Tim have been doing anything different on Twitch. They've not to say they've been doing bad, but they've kind of been like, nothing really insane has necessarily popped off too much as of late. Like, there's nothing Fortnite equivalent. I think both have been doing a lot of Warzone stuff. But now it's like this huge announcement. We're coming to YouTube exclusive. And then like this was the way to do it. Back to back, one day Lupo, next day Tim, tomorrow Nick Merckx.
And now they're all playing together too. Like they're collabing on YouTube and everything, right?
And they're playing with probably Dr. Disrespect because they can play with him now.
Right. And Courage
Courage. And like they're getting the squad back together, right? Like it's going to be this big reunion thing. Like that's really smart that YouTube did it that way. Yeah, I predict that at least off the jump, it's going to be a massive boost in viewers. Mm-hmm. Maybe over time, it'll kind of settle back to where it was. But I think that when they start streaming, like in the first few weeks, there's going to be a lot of hype and a lot of extra viewers around it.
Now, there recently was some comments from Dr. Disrespect saying, you know, I've actually lost a lot since getting Twitch banned. And, you know, people have said like, yeah, his viewership has dropped. But at the same time, as soon as he left and went to YouTube, there was hype there. And I don't know if he lost, like, obviously maybe people don't sub as much on YouTube. But the other thing too is when you ominously get your contract axed with Twitch and you get banned from Twitch, maybe brands are just like, well, is this guy sus? Right?
I think that's what he said.
And I think that's a lot of it. Because he was like, do you think Nike wants to work with Dr. Disrespect after getting banned on Twitch? Maybe not, right? And so he's suing. And, that's a whole other topic. I can't wait to find out what actually happens there. But it is interesting to see because it's not like Doc is all rainbows and butterflies, but he got banned and left. It's not the same thing. These guys are getting paid to leave. They're having a really good exit. Maybe brands are like, oh, we want to work with YouTube. We want that audience just as much or more than Twitch. So very interesting to see.
Listen, like we've said, we called it on the stream. We said, listen, there's gonna be some repercussions in terms of advertising with things like the hot tub meta, right? Where it's all over the internet. Like everyone's calling it out. There's so much attention on it that like you have brands that are like, do I want to advertise on Twitch? Right? Like it hurts Twitch. And then Twitch takes so long to even say anything about this, and then like comes out and says there's no crime to be sexy, and then like a couple days later bans people.
Right.
And it's like, well, which was it? Like, so they handle everything so poorly. Like YouTube doesn't have that stigma right now compared to Twitch in terms of live streaming. YouTube does have some sus
I'm
meta,
thinking about doing
especially
some naked
in
yoga
the
on
yoga,
weekend
like
stream.
Hell yeah.
sus. But it's not. I don't think it's as prevalent, and I think they're really quick to like. You have to confirm your age if you want to watch those streams. Whereas I think on Twitch, like there were some hot tub streams that anyone could watch, right? And which was, I think, an issue in terms of advertising, like advertisers seeing that.
Right.
So
now
I think YouTube is the more like advertiser friendly platform. I think, right? Because
I also feel like there's a lot of brands that are like they don't know what the hell a Twitch is still. They still don't.
Right.
It's like we'll do a YouTube ad, but like we're not. What is this live streaming stuff? Like Taco Bell, just for the first time with me and the other creators, ever touched anything to do with Twitch. They've never touched it before, but you see them on YouTube and stuff and all over the place.
All the time.
It's just not a traditional media. I feel like the same way YouTube has like become a traditional media almost. It's so big. But I wanted to take this
exactly a good point.
I wanted to take this, and on the fifth topic there, I would say gaming devs are making a move. I wanted to kind of segue into this because I think it works. Fwiz from YouTube was actually posting saying that game devs and gaming creators and this whole space is going to just change in the next few years because there's so many different companies making games, right? We saw a bunch of people leaving Blizzard. People have left Bungie. They're making their own studios. They're making their own games. Well, some are going to fail and some are going to make it. And Fwiz was kind of alluding that the ones that make it are going to be people that are pairing up with these content creators. They're pairing up with Lupo, Timthetatman. They're giving them $1 million and saying, stream our game for 6 months. You know what I mean? And it's...
Or 1 week.
Or 1 week. Yeah, seriously. But he was saying that apparently the expected spend going forward is like $5 billion from these game devs in marketing and working with creators.
Nuts.
And it's like, what? How much? That's the thing is like, how much money is out there that maybe isn't even getting paid yet? Like the devs are just like, they'll play our game, but they're going to be forced to do it. Because remember when Apex Legends came out, they had all the big streamers come out, paid them a ton of money. Apex Legends was a success. So it's like, if you don't do that, does your game pop off? You spend $300 million making a game. It's like, well, spend another 50 to guarantee its success. Or don't spend it, and then you're rolling the dice and hope people try it. Because, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, Bungie doesn't even follow me on Twitter. The Bungie Twitter account doesn't even follow me back, dude.
I wonder why
right?
that is.
Yeah.
You're toxic.
Mostly because I'm extremely toxic and I keep memeing on them. But it's also like, yeah, it's a good point. Like, Bungie isn't paying anyone crap, except for like, they send a few content creators like mystery gifts seemingly every like 3 days. Again, not me, but like.
You didn't get a music box, dude?
And I didn't get shit.
I didn't get one either.
No, they sent me 2. Do you want one? Because I think they gave me an extra one.
Might have been like an international thing, but
I'm kidding, by the way.
I'm not trying to crap on Bungie, but it is like a shift of the old ways. Because you got to think like, how much hype is the content creator community drumming up for a game like Bungie?
Right.
Like I remember someone from YouTube told me, he's like, dude, the only reason Destiny is alive is because of the content creators. Like they keep like talking about new builds, new weapons to get new stuff, and that motivates the community to go back in and like grind stuff even if they're bored to get the next best thing.
I believe that though. I don't know if I believe that.
I don't necessarily believe it either, but I'm saying like I think the fact that he said it is just indicating that it's a big factor. And so it's like, is there going to have to be a shift where if you are a company, you're going to have to do a lot of things for your creators and to keep them interested, to keep them in your game, like you said, Tash, right? Not necessarily paying them money, but giving them the opportunity to play things early. We have seen Bungie shifting towards getting feedback. That's something that a lot of companies are doing, is getting feedback directly from content creators, because obviously you want to build that relationship early and then actually take what they have to say into regards when developing stuff.
Well, and why do you disagree, Ryan?
I think it's just part of it is just the audience that Destiny has drummed up is just such a diehard audience. I don't think these people would care if I stopped making videos. They're still going to play the game. You know, I think a lot of these people are just it's such a hobbyist game at this point, which is one of the reasons why it can be somewhat unapproachable for new players at times. I've heard that feedback too. But a lot of the players that play the game, they're just hobby Destiny players at this point. And they could give a rat's rear end if I keep making content or you keep making content on it. They're going to keep playing Destiny.
Yeah, see, I thought maybe you were arguing like content creators are bringing in new people, and I was like, I don't know. Like, it seems like people are they play 4,000 hours of Destiny, and like those people will always play, and like the new people just refuse to try it. But you know, I feel like with content creation now, so many games live and die based on if people pick it up. Like even Splitgate, it was pretty dead. They did get that big investment, really, right? They did get that investment, and then they're bringing in ranked and stuff. But then Courage, Lupo, a couple of these people did go and play it, and then now it was doing very, very good again. All you need is a couple of them. All you need is a couple of them, and then people are like, well, why don't we try it too? Apex Legends as well. They've been doing good, but when Warzone had all those cheaters, everyone was like, all right, well, let's play Apex again. It was like number one on Twitch for a while, right?
It was popping off. Yeah.
And so I think a lot of these devs are maybe realizing this, or they've realized it for a long time, and maybe they didn't want to pay. But I think it is going to be a thing moving forward. Maybe it's good for us. Maybe we'll actually get some cool sponsorships moving forward. But
I doubt it, though.
One of the things that kind of triggered this is 2K is doing that Next Maker. I don't know if you guys saw that. They're doing a program with new content creators and continuing content creators to kind of work alongside the devs. And that's actually a cool idea too. Is like,
that's huge.
If you want to pay me to play the game for hundreds of hours a month and like grind it out, like absolutely grind your game, play it full time, and you want to support me financially, that's cool. And if you want to get feedback, and I'm going to tell you, because I play so much of the game and I hear the community, this thing is broken, fix this, and we can work together. I think that could be really cool. Really, really cool. Having these like collaborations between the content creators and the developers. But T-Rex, he even said, no, like, let me just finish.
Go ahead.
T-Rex was saying, this is cool and all, 2K, but I really hope that, you're willing to listen to feedback, because, Gathalion, T-Rex, Broman, I think Killer 6, there was a bunch of them that got kind of signed on with Borderlands 3, right? They were supposed to,
that. They were like,
right?
Like,
it was supposed to be like a big contract.
What happened to that?
What happened? Did they not like the game? They wanted to get out? What happened there? They weren't receptive to feedback saying, hey, the game kind of sucks. I don't know what it is, but like, that's cool to have these programs. But like, you also can't lock someone into playing your game if it's trash or they're not willing to change it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a balancing act.
I remember at that event, I don't know if you guys were with me during this conversation or not, because we were at the Borderlands event together. But I remember at the Borderlands 3 event before it actually officially launched, when we got to get hands-on time with it early. I won't say who it is because I'm sure their offer was under NDA. But another streamer there told me that he had been offered a contract by from Gearbox to stream to do, I think it was like four Borderlands 3 streams a week for a year. and he said the offer was very generous. But he was like, but I couldn't do it because I have no idea if this game is going to be good in a year. That's a huge risk for me to take.
Yeah, think how much time a year is.
Yeah. So to do a full year contract of saying this is going to be my flagship game on my channel, like that's a huge risk. And I got to say, in retrospect, he made a good call by saying, I think I got to pass on this one.
Yeah. I mean, depending on the hour requirements, like you could tank your channel's growth. Like, what if it was a Cyberpunk, and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you $1 million, but you have to stream Cyberpunk," right? Like, you gotta stream.
People would have taken that deal. So many people would have taken that deal, dude.
Oh man. But anyways, let's move on.
Wait, can I say? Hold on.
No. Go on. I should get it.
Listen, I think it's important to say that in that feedback department, a lot of people give developers like hate for that, right? Where it's like, oh, all you do is listen to streamers. All you do is listen to streamers. But I don't think people realize like how it used to work is that they would bring in people from the streets. Like EA would be developing the next, years and years ago, it'd be developing FIFA or like Titanfall 1 or whatever the heck. And they would go on to the streets and randomly get people and make them sign NDAs and have them play and get feedback, right? They used to do this. So like the guy could never, that guy could have never played a first person shooter ever before in his life, right? And that's the type of person that's giving feedback. So when people like they get obsessed with like, oh, you're only listening to streamers, not listening to me, right? Like not listening to XX Slayer XX with 3 followers on Twitter. Why not, right? But it's like, listen, XX, Slayer might have some good points, but streamers who have like a record of playing similar games are going to give much better feedback than random people off the street. So like the fact that they're doing that is so good for everybody.
Right. Yeah. And like you have to remember, we have the input of all of you guys and we see that. So it's like, oh my God, this is a major issue. Everyone's talking about it. But like I've put in more time in some games in 1 week than some people that watch me have played in a year, because I mean, obviously it's my job to play games and like people work, they've got families and stuff. So it's like, I'm getting all that input from hundreds of people at the same time that I can hopefully relay to a dev. And I want you to have a good experience. I'm not going to I'm not going to give them feedback that's going to kill the game. Hopefully, I pray. I want everyone to play.
That's not good for us,
right? Or else my job dies. So it's like I want it to be the best for you. I want it to be fair for you. That's why content creators like us, we want things like Trials of Osiris and Destiny to be accessible to everyone and not just 4 people that play on the weekends and cheaters. You know what I mean?
We don't do recoveries.
Yeah.
We want it to be accessible for you guys. None of us here do recoveries, so.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I kind of cut you off, Ryan.
No, you're totally fine. I was just going to add to that, one of the things I see a lot is people complain like, well, when are you going to stop listening to the content creators and actually listen to the common gamers? Well, that's one of the things you have to remember is that, like Mike said, we see all the things that you're saying. We are like a storehouse for community feedback.
Mouthpiece for you guys a lot of the time.
We hear all of that. So when I could say this definitively, when I go to these events, like summit events and stuff like that for various games where they want feedback from content creators, I can tell you it is extremely rare for me to hear a bit of feedback come out of a content creator's mouth that is very self-serving. And if I've ever heard it, there's dissension among the group. Everyone else is like, that's dumb. No, You know what I mean? Like, no one's out there trying to tank the experience for the common gamer. That would be a horrible business move.
The only one who did was that one guy who was kind of at the one Bungie summit. I don't want to say his name, but he was like kind of like an average Joe Schmo. And every time he opened his mouth, everyone was like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this guy talking about? We kept looking at each other like, what the fuck? It was so funny. But I don't want to expose them too much.
Sometimes they do bring in like people from the forums and stuff, and like
it was like what?
They can sometimes have a hard time. Like a content creator, literally, our job is to express ourselves, right? Yeah. So that they can have a hard time giving feedback and like saying what they're really thinking and trying and meaning, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen that a lot too, where it's like something's not right. I don't know what it is though. And then like we'll be like, listen, aim assist, something's up with it. I'm drifting when I'm trying to shoot. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So
You
that
make
can
a
be
video
just-
in your hotel room and bring it the next day.
Yeah, basically, right? Like, listen, watch this.
All right.
We've been talking about all these things that are changing the gaming industry down the road, but another interesting factor this past week that came up that might have an effect on the gaming industry in some capacity is the China bans on the restrictions on gaming.
All right, it's maybe time, if you're a gamer, it's maybe time to remove the little hammer and sickle from your Twitter bio. Maybe #communist. Get it out of there, because you're not going to be allowed to play games under communist rule, because it turns out they're just like, hey, you can be more productive. And I mean, they're arguably correct, but it's like, that's what the Chinese Communist Party, apparently due to this is the funniest part, due to complaints from the parents. So obviously, who is in charge of the Chinese Communist Party? The parents, the older generation, right, are like all the seniors within the party are like, my kid's gaming too much. This is annoying me. And it went all the way to the top. So now you can, I think under the age of 18, you can only play
3 hours a week.
Hours a week. A week.
Insane.
Bro, like, so think about the, not millions, billions. Literally billions with a B, billions of dollars that have been invested in terms of bringing games to that Chinese market.
Yeah.
And they're all screwed. Like, how many projects
done.
are in the works? Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude,
that's going to kill so many jobs for developers. Your game
has to be the best game on the market, because you can only play for 3 hours a week.
It got real competitive.
Best possible game, dude.
Yeah. But like, even like, Genshin has a huge Chinese audience. What's going to happen to the Genshin? League of Legends has a massive Chinese audience. There's so many games that they really do have a huge audience in, multiple different regions. But what happens when you're one region with billions of people that live there? It just goes, we can't play anymore. I can't play League of Legends because I go over my 45-minute time slot. You know what I mean? Like, I can't play a long game of League of Legends because I might run out of time.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah. It's like minutes on old school cell phones.
Yeah.
Dude,
how do they enforce it though? That's the question. I don't know.
Easy. Because the government controls everything. So the government controls the internet.
Yeah, that's right.
The internet for you. So they know exactly what you're doing, right? You've got a social credit score in China, so they track what you do, and you either get good points for being a good citizen, or if you do things the government don't like, so you get bad points, and if you get enough bad points, you disappear sometimes. It's like, that's the reality that, like, literally people living like that right now, right? So they think it's great though, due to propaganda, but it's like, it's some serious stuff there, so they can easily know exactly what you're up to, because they provide the internet. They know what you're doing with that internet, what you're doing on your computer, all of that stuff. So it's super easy to enforce, unfortunately. But yeah, like, I can't imagine being a gamer there. Like, you're done. Like, and like 3 hours a week, dude. I play 8 hours a day, brothers.
And I understand, like, gaming addiction. I understand it. And like, I know, looking back in school, like, I did play Halo 3 a lot, but I also played very competitive hockey. I got very good marks in school, and like, I was out partying with friends and dating, and like, I was playing with my buddies. There are some social aspects I think are really good there. And like, if you can do all the other stuff in life and that's how you want to spend your time, like, my dad would always be like, go watch some TV instead. And it's like, how is that better? Or like,
right.
They just hate gaming. Like, my parents hated it growing up, and now look at me, Dad. Dang. Look at me now.
Yeah. Well,
but like, but imagine if it was another thing. We despise gymnastics. You've been doing gymnastics this whole time. You can get injured too easily. Now it's banned. You're some Olympic athlete that I get it. Not everyone sitting in their gamer chair is going to make something for themselves, but it's like one of their freedoms just got taken away. Like, it's
interesting. The percentage of like gamers who go on to, let's say, succeed in the areas of gaming, I would almost bet it's at least equivalent to, if not more, than the amount of people who like play football and actually make a living out of playing football, whether that is a coach or something related to the sport.
Right.
You know, actually
whether
playing in the
you're
NFL.
not a player, but yeah.
Right. Like, you don't have to be a competitive gamer.
You can go into game dev.
I'm trash and I still make a living off this game. You know what I'm saying?
True. You said it, not me.
You can be a content creator. You can be a developer. A lot of developers, right? Why would you want to be a gaming developer? Right? Often it's because you played a lot of video games and you have an absolute love for it. A lot of developers, you know, are independent. Like the Inner Sloth are making millions, are set for life because they developed Among Us because they love gaming. Like, so it's interesting. Will this like boost productivity with 18-year-olds? Or are you losing out on a lot of benefits also? You're losing out on social interaction. You're losing out on a multi-billion-dollar industry, a gaming industry. There's a lot of development companies in China. Like, what are they going to do?
Right.
I wonder, I could actually foresee, like, if it's a Chinese game, a game developed in China, you get an extra hour a week or something if you play that.
But imagine, imagine hurting your own economy like that. Like they've just said to the gaming economy there, like, yeah, you're not important. Like, I don't know, that's just kind of wild.
It's going to be interesting. Like, I'm sure their logic is, well, we're going to hurt the gaming industry, but what are these people going to do with their time? They're going to invest it in education, and they're going to become engineers, and they're going to improve the economy more in the long run. Will that actually happen? Right? Or are you just going to, because no one can interact with each other on gaming anymore, is everyone going to be socially like, it's there's going to be like really some long-term repercussions from this, and it's going to be really interesting to see the results of this.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Chinese refugees trying to come in.
Yeah,
dark. Like, this is the straw that broke the camel's back, man. I need out of this country.
Yeah, can't hide away in our room anymore.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, and especially with the younger generation. I mean, it's not like you can vote in China, but like certainly they're the ones that are really going to be turned off by this. And it seems almost like vindictive just from complaints from people who like don't game, just from the older generations who don't game and don't understand why is my son spending so much time playing video games, but like not understanding that there is like a lot of benefits that come from it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of benefits, Destiny players are gonna get some crazy benefits from the pre-order for Witch Queen. Just the armor is probably the best looking armor I've ever seen in Destiny. Did you see that? The pre-order armor? Yeah, the Thorn.
That's not for Witch Queen.
What do you mean?
Well, if someone would care to watch my videos, you'd know what's going on. That's
who can be bothered to watch your videos?
I know. Listen, 10 minutes and 1 second, you'll know everything you need to know. But in all honesty, the Thorn armor looks fantastic. I'm pretty sure that the Thorn armor is associated with the new dungeon. Like, it drops from the new dungeon in the 30th anniversary thing coming in December.
Oh, why is it on the picture for the Witch Queen whatever edition pre-order?
Because it gives you access to the.
Yeah, there's a certain edition of the Witch Queen that if you get this, it comes with the 30th anniversary bundle, which would include that. Because the 30th anniversary update includes a 6-player activity, which is crazy. Like, we're getting a freaking new override type activity in December for free. But if you pay, you gain access to the dungeon, which includes the Thorn themed armor.
That's the Loot Cave dungeon, right?
The Loot Cave dungeon. Yeah, you go into the Loot Cave and then into the depths of the Cosmodrome, and there's a whole dungeon.
I think it's hilarious that they decided to use the Loot Cave for that. What a great idea for like the anniversary thing.
Loot Cave, exactly. No, 100%. Like, it's hilarious, man.
So I haven't played Destiny in a year. Like, other than very sparingly. I watched that reveal and I was beyond hyped. I was probably the most hyped I've been in a long time. A lot of issues I have with the game seem to be addressed because of that, and just things that I didn't expect. You know, Void subclasses being reworked. The big one for me, when they said that there's going to be dungeons and raids, like one of them every kind of quarter, like every few months. I was like,
yeah.
Huh? I was like,
that's huge.
Did you guys get picked up by a massive company? Is that your
Right.
is that your Eververse money? I never thought I'd see that again. Like I truly never thought I would see that. Did they hire that many devs?
That's what I was gonna just say.
hired a lot.
You've gotta wonder all these hires. Did they like actually say, "Bam, we're hiring another team for dungeon design. We're gonna take some of the guys on the current team."
Finally, dude.
You know what I mean? It's
Finally.
like now we can pump out the content that everyone is saying they love more frequently. Like that's so exciting. So 3 dungeons from between now and the end of next year, right? 3 dungeons and 2
yeah.
raids.
Well, there
3 dungeons, 2 raids,
new raid with Witch Queen,
and a reprised one.
Reprised raid. Don't know which one yet. I hope it's not King's Fall. King's Fall is so freaking overrated. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
But, like,
thank you.
I agree.
If you want to stand there, if you want your boss phase to always be like 4 phase, like go away, dude. Wrath of the Machine is so good, and the Siva weapons and bringing those back, I'd be so happy about that. But it does. Frankly, it doesn't matter because I'm sure they're gonna, even if they do bring back King's Fall, similar to Vault of Glass, they change some things, and hopefully they can change some things to make certain encounters in there less absolutely tedious. But dude, holy crap, like this is huge. Like those end game PvE things, like the dungeons and the raids, are like exactly what people wanted. And not only that, like just now rejuvenating Prophecy Dungeon with all of the the Trials of the 9 weapons.
Yes.
Like everyone's like grinding that now. Like that's a brilliant idea. Like it's like, hey, you have this old fantastic piece of content, refresh the loot. You make it relevant again. Like that's
there's so many pieces of content where I'm like, this was amazing. I won't touch it again. Like it happens all the time.
Nightmare hunts.
None of the raids, like obviously when Destiny first came out and I was new to the game, I wanted every little thing. But now I'm looking at the items and like the Garden of Salvation. There was maybe one roll on the pulse rifle where I was like, that seems kind of fun. But after I did it like 5 times, and it's like, that's it. Not touching it. No reason to.
And you're done with the game.
Exactly,
like,
exactly.
But like, I think they learned from that though, and we've seen after Garden, Deepstone Crypt, it comes with those unique perks. You get that reconstruction where it overflows.
Got the spoil system too.
And heritage, you get heritage and the sniper secession is like amazing in PvE, right? And then Vault of Glass, you have that rewind rounds perk, and with the sniper it's like unbelievable, right? So really, really good that they're doing that. Like the Vault of Glass weapons were a hit, the Deepstone Crypt weapons were a hit. I think they finally realized, we should probably make raid weapons actually like good and different from normal legendary weapons.
These things should matter, I guess.
Yeah, you think, right? But we've been kind of complaining about Bungie. Like, we've been making fun of them because they have not been adding that much to Destiny, but they keep announcing all these new IPs, and we've always been saying, like, is that where all the Eververse money is going, to this new IP that's not even Destiny, and they're going to bleed Destiny dry? But it looks like with the Witch Queen, like, finally, it really does appear that they're seriously reinvesting in Destiny, which is exactly what you want to see. Because they said a lot, and they really did hammer home this during the reveal, that, like, it's Witch Queen, Lightfall, Final Shape, and beyond. They kept saying and beyond. Like, we're not stopping, like, ever, basically. And I think a lot of that is... I think it is good that there was maybe some changes to who's in charge. When we saw Luke Smith and Noseworthy, they're still kind of working on Destiny, I think, but they've kind of moved to alternate media, I think, something like that. And then you got some new guys that came in, because I think that with all these hires, you're hiring a lot of people that love Destiny, right? And these people can make Destiny for the next God knows how many years, right? It's understandable that maybe some of the old guard and Bungie were sick of it and wanted to move on. And that's why it's so good that they hired all this new talent. Because again, these people will make Destiny exotics for the day till the day they die. They love Destiny, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you think that Witch Queen will be better than Beyond Light? For me,
100%.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Will it be better than Forsaken?
That's the question.
Right.
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of, like, if we're going tally to tally, it's got to be close. It's got to be close.
So Forsaken added the new supers, and that was big. That was a big injection of content and
special weapons.
So, yes, that's true. Well, actually, no, that came like a couple weeks before. Remember, it was actually
but it was part of it.
But still, something like that is so important because it means that it rejuvenates old content. You can go back and do a strike that you've done a million times, but with your new super, and you can do things that you've never been able to do before.
Mm-hmm.
And with Beyond Light, it kind of did do that with Stasis. Stasis was totally new, a little overboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, I think you could make the argument that Beyond Light was almost like more impactful than. Certainly, the Stasis was more impactful than all the different supers that Forsaken added. But in terms of content, certainly it was lacking. Like we got a raid, but that was about it, right? So
but I have to say, part of this discussion, I've seen a couple of people already say, it doesn't look like enough content to justify the purchase, and I'm like, are you dumb? Like, are you stupid? Like, I look at the list of everything we're getting with the Witch Queen, this gothic fantasy environment with the like haunted swamps, and then the humongous castle.
Yeah. Well, think on that, because that new area is huge.
Completely new destination, right?
Yeah, like the Witch Queen's, what is it? Her throne world. Like you said, there's that swamp area. That's like one area.
And then you have, it's like the Tangled Shore and the Dreaming City.
Yeah.
You get the swamplands, and then you get the gothic castle, fantasy, dark castle vibes. Completely different space.
And then there's like a beneath like dungeons type of space with a different vibe as well. Like there's kind of the outside castle, you're in the castle walls, and then there's like the underneath like dungeon. So it's like the swamps, the castle, the dungeon.
It's like a Dark Souls level with all of them connected.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All part of this. So it's like that new area, like it's not Mercury. Mercury was kind of a joke, right? Like this seems to be, we're going to have some different variety in terms of this new area. It's going to be multi-tier. If you're in the swamp area, it's going to feel very different than if you're in the castle.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, new weapon type with the glaive.
Yep.
Which looks really cool. I do hope we just got like we didn't have the audio cue ready for it, so it sounds like a shotgun, but it's gonna not sound like that when it actually ships, because it literally just sounds like your Destiny 1 default shotgun sound when they shoot the glaive, and it made no sense. But obviously, I doubt that's going to be the final audio for it. But anyways,
but that's so important. It's like a
melee combos.
Yep. And it's a special, so you're gonna have you're gonna get so much more use out of it.
Yeah. So that's crazy. Weapon crafting, raids, dungeons, raid period, dungeon period.
Raid and dungeon period.
Yeah. And obviously an overwork to the void subclasses being more like stasis with aspects and fragments, and it's going to dramatically change literally everything about
with all new abilities. Like Tash, did you see they're not just kind of like
arranged melee for void?
You're not just changing the framework. Like for example, Titan has a completely new melee. It throws its shield.
Yeah,
and it gets overshield for each guy it hits. So that is you're not just putting all the perks into this new framework. You're adding more abilities, and then you're taking out the least favorite ones, assumedly. But you can now combo with so much stuff. What if I want Devour and Handheld Supernova? I can combine them both. Are you serious? Handheld Supernova plus Devour, brother.
Yeah,
that's insane.
And I mean, to me, that's new subclasses. The Destiny 2 subclasses are so boring, and on every single one, I'm like, oh, I wish I could have just taken that perk and put it here. Pretty much every single subclass, there's one of them where I'm like, literally put that on the other one and I would be a better class. And being able to just switch it around, getting some of those new abilities. Also the fact that, they're doing Void, but isn't it literally the next season is another element and then another one? So, so what is that? 3 months? So within 9 months, we would have everything for the most part, all updated, all that stuff. And then by the time that's done, maybe we're doing a reveal for the next year. And maybe there is a new subclass down the road. But I don't know. I'm really hyped. And okay, here's my thought, because this is the outside looking in, because you guys are still very involved with the game, and so maybe you're blinded by it. Maybe you're overhyped, or right? I've been away and I've been bringing in all this information. Yeah, he's got his drifter. The thing is what I'm seeing is these raids and dungeons means they must be hiring people. They've made some comments about, hey, we are going to bring some new maps and game modes to PvP. Obviously, it's been like 2 years, 3 years, too late. Yeah. But seeing that amount of content for the raids, that has me thinking, wow, that is really shocking. But that also means, okay, you're talking about the final shape and Lightfall and all these different things. If you're doing this now and you've hired all these people, how do I know that those don't have a ton of dungeons and a ton of raids and a ton of content?
They've gotta, right?
Right? And it's like, this looks really good. But if this is the new norm, holy shit, Destiny is going to be amazing. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about. And for the first time in a long time, I'm thinking, do I need to really start getting back into the game and building up my brand again for Destiny? Because maybe this is one of those games that I want to be, a ride and die long-term fan. There's people that have made a career playing League of Legends and only League of Legends, and Destiny might be the place to be. Now, if they could add some Eververse creator codes, bro, I'm signing up today. I am there, bro. I will talk about Eververse every day.
That applies to my point earlier where Bungie's going to have to, I think start treating its content creators a little bit better, because they have, it's not to say give me stuff or anything like that. It's just you have a great relationship with your content creators that are pushing out a ton of content. And I would say almost necessary content. There is people have put out beginner guides that are better than the actual beginner quest in the game, I feel and more. And so, definitely there's guides and content that explain stuff better than the in-game tooltips. So this relationship is a great thing to forge going down this road, especially when you're going to add complicated things like weapon crafting systems.
Right.
That's not going to be probably easily understandable, especially because Bungie, they're going to add 17 different currencies that have to do with this, right? And you convert those currencies into a different currency, and then that currency buys this object that you have to level up, and then you can use that to finally craft your weapon.
And the instructions for all those quest steps are in binary.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We could do that, or we can pray Rick Kackis makes a freaking guide on it, right? So, that
it better not be over 8 minutes.
It's bad. But that's my point. That would be a great thing to, if you've invested in the future, have those Epic Game style creator codes. I think that'd be a fantastic way to just get that financial security and the benefit of being a Destiny content creator. You want to treat your content creators well because they want the game to succeed, and like you said, Tash, you want them to be in it for the long haul.
Yeah. That's right. And the thing is looking at what's coming, and the fact that they're taking time to revamp the subclasses. That's the other thing too, is the fact that they're taking time to revamp the subclasses means, well, why would you do that if they weren't going to be around for a long time? Why would you do that if there isn't longevity in this game? Because that is a ton of work. With a minimum viable product, you just keep things running. If it's going to be just a cash cow, you keep things running. Maybe you add new content, but you're not or reworking old systems. Why the hell would you do that? So obviously they're banking on Destiny being big long term. They're investing resources back into old systems while creating new systems. That is a very big green light for me, saying, damn, they're not giving up on this game. There's going to be a new IP. They've got that Eververse money. They got a new squad doing that. But there's Bungie squad working on Destiny. Seems to be alive. I don't know about the PvP side of it as much. Still, I think that they did lose a lot to the new IP. And so as a PvP player, that is the one thing where I'm just I'll dabble. But if you're a PvE player in Destiny, I think you have an amazing future going forward. Truly, we keep saying it, but is this the best time or the best time of Destiny? This is the best moment. They finally saved the game. I'm getting
really looks like the
leaning
Witch
toward
Queen
there.
It really does look like the Witch Queen is gonna save the game.
I want to fight Savathun. That's the thing is I want that lore piece. Oryx was such a big thing. Savathun is a big freaking character in this world, you know?
And they've been setting her up for so long. Like Aramis or whoever the bad guy or bad girl, I guess, for
Beyond Light.
Beyond Light.
Who the hell are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
I don't care.
It's your girl, Aramis, here to freeze some stuff. Better kill me. And it's like, where did you come from? I have no idea who this is.
Yeah,
Like,
no doubt.
Whereas
no,
like
this
Savathun and like
this is gonna be a crux in the story. This is a big deal, yeah.
multiple seasons has been setting up Savathun. Like, I mean, in the Prophecy Dungeon, you have like Eyes of Savathun and stuff, I believe. Like, you have, like, they've been setting this up for so long, and it's not just like a new villain is here. It's like the new villain. We're talking to the new villain like right now in
Right.
like
Literally,
this weird ice form.
Yeah, literally, like back in Destiny 1, you're like, oh, what is this? And your ghost is like, oh, it's just a communication device. I don't know who it was talking to. And then in the previews for the Witch Queen, like, you see that device, and it's like, oh, this has been set up for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think we have time for the Apex stuff. We can.
but no,
we
like
can table
it's,
that.
I think it's really good, and also like you've not just introducing this villain, but you're like you've taken away Osiris. It's like like Savathun is Osiris, has done something with him, and it's like you're taking away a beloved character as well. Like the stakes are like really high. It's fantastic.
Actually, Ryan, maybe you were getting a drink. My wife's flight got delayed. We're chilling. We got time. I don't gotta leave.
Oh, okay. All right.
So yeah, but we can jump onto the Apex thing because honestly,
Your Vanguard was away he was taking a drink. He was getting a drink.
he's getting a drink, like classic.
What a shock!
Water.
There's
So
no shot. There's water in there. There's
water.
baby.
What the hell?
Water.
Okay, yeah.
Who
Jordan
is this guy?
again.
He's getting up in the morning
Oh,
and
yeah. All I do is drink
kayaking.
alcohol.
He's drinking
Oh,
water.
there it is. There it is. The water's just to wash down the rum or whatever.
I've been trying to hide my yawns because Mike's right. I was up at 5 this morning. I got myself a new kayak. So I've been getting up at like 5 a.m. every day and taking it to the lake. Yeah, it's a great workout, man. I go hard with it.
Dude is like on the waterfront property. Like, who's this clown kayaking at 5 in the morning every
Listen,
morning? Why is this
You
guy
have
kayaking?
2 children in school. You tell me when you can find time to go sit out on a lake and
When they're
kayak
at school, drop them off and then go kayak.
He's gonna work.
No, I gotta work.
Have you ever seen someone who
You ever
actually have
worked
a
in your
work
life?
ethic? Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
Nope, not this guy.
Anyways, so Apex Legends this week is really interesting. It led to a really interesting conversation online between like your diehard hardcore players and then like your committed fan base. It's more just like the casual audience. Well, and not even them. Even like some players who are really good at the game that just don't happen to be M&K players.
You cut out.
I cut out. You cut out. Your mom cut out. Shut up. Anyways.
Try to be helpful.
Anyways, there's this thing in the game, a technique, okay, called tap strafing, and it's basically this technique where M&K players have found ways of using like your scroll wheel and whatnot to input a whole lot of movement commands in a very short amount of time. And so what it does is just kind of on the base level, it makes your character do these like really rapid jitters, okay? And so it makes it really hard
I'm
for
so fast. Like
in a game.
how do you
In a
shoot that?
game,
You can't.
yeah.
In
a game-
it's a blur.
In a game like that, it's a really big deal for somebody to try and track that track completely random, unpredictable movement is not like a skill or a talent. It's luck. No matter how you shape it, it's luck. So a lot of people are really upset because if you're a console player doing crossplay, or if you're a controller player, or even if you're an M&K player that just doesn't know how to do that, you are at a severe disadvantage. And then they were finding ways of taking this to the next level. They are pushing the envelope with this stuff. They're finding ways of, I kid you not, using Pathfinder's grappling hook to zip past you. And when you turn to look at them, they would put in they'd input so many movement commands, they would actually move the character back behind you. So you turn to track their movement. He's behind you with a peacekeeper and just blasts you in the back of the head. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely nuts. Octane players could do similar things. It's unpredictable. It is uncounterable. There's no, like, you can't predict that, oh yeah, this guy's going to teleport behind me and I got to be ready for it. You never know that's coming. So anyways, the really sweaty upper echelon of players were really livid this week when Apex developers came out and said, this isn't good for the game, guys. We're going to scrap it. We're going to disable.
Gosh, I have to win a fair gunfight. Like, God forbid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it led to just this huge controversy within the community where they're all at each other's throats. Like, this is fair, and this is you're removing skill, high skill gap plays from the game and catering to the casuals. You know what I mean? We've heard it all before in the Destiny community, Mike. But you go ahead.
And there's a lot of arguments that it's like, well, why would you ever play on mouse and keyboard now? Because there is a lot of aim assist in Apex. It's like, why wouldn't you just play a controller? Like, you're dumb to not use it almost at this point, because if you're taking away our movement, well, then you're taking away everything. You're taking our one advantage away. And I mean, it is tough to say, what the best input is and where you're going to thrive. But the thing is, and the way I did it is, like, I watched a couple of videos on what it is and what it looks like. And the biggest argument is, if you're playing a game, there should be kind of a set amount of rules. Any game you play. And you learn those rules and you adapt and you get better at the game and you improve. But I feel like some of the tap strafing stuff, it kind of broke the game. If you watch someone doing a clamber up a wall, you should know, well, he's going to be at the top of that wall. But they're animation canceling and not going there. Or they're jumping off a building and you're like, all right, I'm going to track him because he's going off that building. And then they zip back and they land on the building. So you waste a bunch of ammo trying to track them. And it's all these things that you're being given information and you're responding properly, and then you're getting punished because the game isn't functioning the way it's supposed to anymore. And I watched some of the clips and I understand, practicing those things and mastering those things and doing them at a fast speed and at a high level. But at the end of the day, it looks like an exploit. It looks like some pretty janky animation canceling, some crazy movement that, like, it doesn't look intended. And I understand why. I understand why they removed it, but yeah, I don't know.
And there was a write up by one of the developers today that was just a fascinating read. And one of the more interesting things that he said in that is, he said, we'll let you peek behind the curtain right now and tell you this: there's zero evidence internally that being on a controller is an advantage. There's zero evidence. We see when we stack a Predator controller player and their stats and real-time data tracking against a Predator, that's the highest rank, by the way, if you're not familiar with Apex terms. Predator,
Apex Predator?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you stack that against a PC or an M&K Predator, there is no data that suggests that even with, like, a Prowler, which is a fully automatic, right now it's burst fire in the current season, up close SMG, you would think people keep saying controller players on the Prowler are just too OP, and they said there's zero evidence internally that says a controller player plays better with a Prowler than an M&K player. They win the same number of gunfights, and everyone's like, no way! They just couldn't believe it. It's just hilarious. But another thing they say is, like, listen, each input device has their own advantages. And this kind of goes with what Mike is saying. There's certain rules that are solid, and we don't want to break those, that mess with accessibility, that really just shatter the immersion of the game and make it feel unreal and unfair. But a controller player may have aim assist. That's nice, good for you. But an M&K player has other things that are extremely advantageous, like the ability to have variable sensitivity input commands. With a mouse, you could turn slowly, you could turn kind of fast, you could turn extremely fast, and you can change the speed at which you're doing those things in immediate real time. And you can't do that on a controller. When I push the thumbstick all the way to the right, I turn at a set speed all the way to the right? And anywhere in between there's a couple of different variable speeds. But the range of sensitivity that you can acquire with a mouse and keyboard is just so much more dramatic.
But it's just a never-ending debate, right? It's like, obviously, stuff like aim assist, you need aim assist because your thumb controlling...
It's not a precise...
It's not as precise. So mouse and keyboard is more precise. That being said, have controller users gotten some free kills because of aim assist? Absolutely, right? Like, so it's just going to be a never-ending debate because both have their advantages and disadvantages.
Right.
Yep.
And so, hopefully you would think that those equal out. And in all honesty, they probably do. But like, if you're on one, obviously you're just going to complain about the other. That's just how it works.
And I've got clips from back in my old Destiny days on controller, and I look at those clips compared to some of my Destiny 2 plays on PC. It doesn't even look like I'm playing the same game. And, there is definitely some advantages where it looks like some pretty easy headshots. But I'm going to track a guy, and my reticle, it's so sluggish on controller. And there's some flicks that I do on PC. You would never be able to humanly do that on a controller, even at max sensitivity. Literally impossible. And so, again, pros and cons to both. I think that it is frustrating when you learn a skill and then it gets taken away from you. But I mean, people learned how to Titan skate in Destiny, but you can move 3 times faster than everyone else. So it's like, yeah, it's a skill, but now you have a gross advantage over everyone else in the game.
Wait, someone in the chat's like, you said it's because of your thumb. No, Kackis, it's because it's a joystick that you use with your thumb. You use your thumb is doing all the inputs on the joystick.
And on that note, RGH After Dark initiated. You idiot! Don't you know that your thumb?
He's calling me an idiot.
Yeah.
It's not your thumb, it's the joystick. What do you use to activate the joystick? Your thumb. What is that?
Well, it's not a joystick, it's a thumbstick. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah, isn't a joystick
even worse.
isn't that like a fighter pilot stick? That's a joystick?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's like that's OP.
That's like
That input device is so. Do you guys remember like playing Battlefield? You have the guy who like plugged in the actual like flight joystick for the helicopter. You're like, and you could tell they're just absolutely like clearing house, and you're like, this guy's like a real life Apache pilot, like in Battlefield 3.
He's got the foot pedals for pitch and yaw.
It's like, congratulations, you're making junior high me cry. Like, good job. Like, I'm just trying to play Battlefield.
Speaking of Battlefield,
if you guys have any questions you want to toss at us, now's the time to do it. But I think we got some stuff to call out too, Mike.
Yeah, we do.
As he's calling out, RJ After Dark. So ask your questions, guys, and we will answer as best we can. We do give massive priority to people who are members. If you want to become a member, just click the little join button. Like, it's like right below the video, right next to subscribe. It'll say subscribe and then join right near it. So just click join and support us. Get a bunch of sick emotes you can spam everywhere. And
are we supposed to plug like any ball trimmers or drinks today?
No, I think we're done. We did our
Advanced GG. Go to Advanced GG. Use code RGH. We're at our peak viewership. That's all good. Use code RGH for 10% off. We've got tons of great flavors. Advanced.gg. We got a $2 donation from Tuga. Add your boy and glad to see you all shining. Well, thank you so much, Tuga. We got some beautiful donations from my boy Christopher. Chip Cunningham with a $5 donation. And we got some new memberships today. Let me see. We got Mardell and...
Mardrell,
and Chalfie and Raphael. Thank you guys so much for the new memberships. We appreciate you. We love you. If we missed it, I'm sorry. The activity feed, it just goes away after a while, and it just doesn't show. So if we missed it, I really do apologize. We do love you. Thank you for the support. It keeps the channel running. And if you do want to become a member and get some of those emotes and just kind of keep the channel alive, we do have a link here for becoming a member, and it supports the channel out tremendously. Helps pay for our editors. Pretty much exactly how many members we have is what our editor costs. So you guys literally pay for the editor every month, which is amazing.
Thank you.
Well, technically, I pay for the editor every month, and then the channel needs to pay me. But I haven't seen any money. Like, I just keep losing money every month. I don't think
a single one of us has actually seen a penny from this side project. So I'm not even kidding. None of us have actually like cashed out on any of this stuff. So just keep in mind, we are doing this because we love doing it, and it's fun as heck. So
yeah, we actually haven't made 1 penny yet from any of it.
There's pennies. They're somewhere.
They just don't. They're just not in my bank account.
Google's got.
Yeah, did we find out where the money went yet?
Yeah, we could chat about that.
Oh, okay.
After the show for sure.
Yeah, we just we're missing all of the money because our AdSense got shut down. I think we're fixing it, but still. Chip Cunningham with a $5 donation. Thank you so much.
Decimations.
Asked,
I was gonna hit one of the questions. You got one.
Someone asked a question about. Yeah, someone said it's going to True Vanguard's kayak. That's how he bought the kayak. Someone asked a question about the Trials rework. Like, what do you guys think about the Trials rework?
Excellent.
Awesome.
More accessible. Okay, so recoveries, good freaking riddance. Battle Eye, cheaters, good freaking riddance, hopefully. You don't have to win anymore to get your loot. That's freaking great. Okay, so you're a casual player. Maybe you don't even have a fire team. You can solo queue. You could get a team together and run in there. You don't have to win games. Just win rounds. You play. You know what? You got your fourth loss. Typically, you're like, oh, that sucks. Got to start all over. You don't anymore. You just keep playing until you get your loot. It's great. This is going to be so much better for people. It's going to overpopulate the playlist, hopefully. It'll be great.
So now if you have your card, and you can go like 3 wins, no losses. You can lose 5 times in a row, but you can still get the 5 win and the 7 win. You just play it out, keep going, and you get it, right?
I think they said the 5 and 7 win bonuses are gone. It's like you are now just playing. There's like a 50 rounds won overall benefit, but you're leveling up. Like Stain 14.
He's got like a rank. Yeah, he's got like a rank now.
Yeah. So you're just playing to. You still have to buy certain different passages with certain benefits, and you're just playing and winning rounds and leveling up him, and he's going to give you those Trials engrams that you can even, like Target Farm, you can turn a Trials engram into I want a messenger. So as long as you've earned a messenger in the past, just one at one point, you can now turn these into messengers until you farm the God roll, which is sweet.
Amazing. Targeted loot. You don't know, and that's amazing too, because now, when a week is like, all right, we've got boot and the SMG and another boot, people are just like, all right, I'm skipping. Now, people will just hopefully play every weekend. They'll play a bunch to get those rewards. Yeah. But also, if you lose a game, it doesn't mean you didn't get progress. If it's based on rounds won and things like that, just losing 5 to 4 is still 4 rounds of progress. That's amazing, And
performance-based matchmaking. If you have lost 3 games in a row, you're not going to be matching somebody who's won 7 games in a row. It's simply not going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen anymore. So it's not skill-based matchmaking, by the way. It's performance-based matchmaking. So it's based on how well you've been playing. So the sweaty players, you know what? It sucks, but listen, it's going to get probably harder for you. But it is what it is. But the good news is Adept loot is still locked behind Flawless. So if you want the Adept loot, you still gotta flex your PvP prowess if you want to get that stuff and show it off.
And that's enough. Like, realistically, you don't really need that Flawless. Like, a normal messenger will still be good, right?
Yep.
But just that extra little something to dangle for the hardcores gives them something to reach for. That's exactly what you want. Mm-hmm. Like, that's exactly what you need.
And honestly, one of the other things too that I don't think gets enough hype, maybe it does, the fact that they're reducing the time limit per round. Good. Force people to move. Bro, people just sit waiting for Super Soul time. It's so boring. They just sit behind cover, third person peeking. Well, you can't do that anymore. You can't bring out a sword. You can't do an emo.
They're gonna be confused as heck.
People who thought they were really good at the game are going to realize that they're really good at pressing W when they have their super active. Like, hey, spoiler alert, everyone's good at that. Yeah. Like, now you're actually going to have to win some gunfights. It's going to get saucy. I'm actually really looking forward to it. There's another question, says OnlyFans link.
$2 donation too. All right, we'll leak in a minute.
But seriously, 6 months is a 6-month season too long? It would have been, but now we have the 6-month anniversary coming in December, and I think that's kind of going to be exactly the 30th anniversary coming in December, and that's exactly when we need it. Like an injection of content, like a mid-season update, new dungeon, new loot, new 6-player activity. Like, it's going to be great.
I think if I was coming back, that's when. Around then. Because I want to see some of these new games in the fall. And like Genshin just got a couple islands and stuff. and I feel like this is it for Genshin. Like I feel like it's gonna be another 6 to 9 months before there's any new islands, and I'll go, or like any new region. I'll go back then. There's nothing I am missing by not covering Genshin. I can make maybe a video on some characters, but like I want a game to play each day. Even if I am still like a little burnt out or bored of Destiny, like I'm not fully invested just yet, I still had so much damn fun in Rumble. Like I truly had a blast. I was having fun hitting those shots, missing my shots, laughing at some of the plays. And you can't do that with a game like Genshin because like there's no progress if you don't have the energy. With Destiny,
right.
I've got so many quests to do, and just playing the game and fighting other people, real people, that is reward enough for me. And so I'm definitely missing that aspect of like a home, a long-term game that you can just play all the time.
Another person in chat, Decimations, asked why I left Facebook, and that's a good question. I was only at Facebook because I was contracted to be. They came to me 2 years ago with an offer and said, "This is what we'd be willing to pay you to come over and stream for a year."
Which was
and it was
no shit.
It was a very generous offer. I said, "Yeah, I'd be happy to do that." And part of that deal was that I'd help them refine the experience over there, give them feedback on the platform and how they can improve it. And so we offered plenty that our community did. Got to the end of that year, they decided they liked our community enough they wanted to offer another contract. So we stuck around for a second year. At the end of that second year, I was offered a third contract and politely declined. I thought for the future of my content, I really just wanted to be back in an environment where, and this may sound shallow, but it's the truth. I wanted to see the full breadth of our community that I've built up over the several years I've been doing this, and I wasn't getting that on Facebook. Facebook's just, it doesn't have a lot of viewers that are interested in that kind of content and first-person shooter stuff. It's really like mobile games, GTA, and Trucker Simulator, right? And that's about it. So there just weren't a lot of people over there that were in the Destiny community. So I wanted to be on a place where the Destiny community is thriving, because I really get energized by that and feed off that. So we might average 100 viewers on a Destiny stream on Facebook, and then today on YouTube I had 1,000 viewers live streaming Destiny, and that's the dichotomy there. That's the difference there. And I really wanted to be able to feel connected to my full community that I had been neglected. YouTube was like the original spot for my content back before I ever did Twitch, and I really wanted to get back to our roots. And I think it's been just a fantastic move so far.
You can't get mad at a creator for chasing the bag. You can't, like, you got a family. You've got a kayak. You know, like,
I got a kayak to look after.
You need paddles, right? You need maybe some just kayak oil. Like I don't know what kind of kayak. Is it a wooden kayak or is it like a
no?
A wooden?
Oh no, that's
kayak?
a canoe. I'm thinking a canoe. Is it an inflatable kayak, or is it like a hard bottom rubber?
This man lives in the prairies. He doesn't even know what a kayak is. He's heard about it in passing. Canoe, kayak,
do sticks together and go on the water. I don't know.
Same thing. Canoe, kayak, boat, same thing basically. Yacht, same thing. What do you mean? You park your kayak? Do you park it in your little driveway?
Anyways, thank you so much for watching this. What the hell? I'm getting attacked right now. Any other big questions?
Were people talking about Facebook?
Why no stream last week? I was literally on a plane for both the last Wednesdays. Really bad timing, unfortunately.
Yeah. We're back. Don't even worry about it.
Don't sweat it.
What do you mean it's not even chasing the bag? No. I'm talking like going to Facebook. And then now he's coming back. Like, you know, it's just, you got to do what's best for you. And like, this is going to be a hype change. Having those people in chat is going to be more fun for him now on YouTube as well. And like, you just got to do what's best for your mental health, or else you're going to quit content creation and there will be no videos and no streams. Right.
And I feel like also it's interesting, like if you move, and I'm not trying to, question anything, or I'm just thinking if you move to Facebook with you, but like I feel like we kind of talked about this earlier, not that many people, and you said it yourself, TV, are interested in like watching specifically Destiny, but like gaming in general, streams in general on Facebook. You have to have a Facebook account. You have to be logged into it. I think there's like ways around it, but they're complicated. But everyone on Facebook probably also has a YouTube account. So
Right.
you can bring that Facebook audience and say, "Hey, I'm on YouTube." Like everyone, I guarantee all of those people still use YouTube, and so now they can have access to you there, and you just kind of expand into a larger audience. Like YouTube is just such a big platform.
Right. $10 donation from Rodney. Going back to what you said earlier, I'd still play Destiny without you guys, but you all collectively enhance the experience of the game for me. Here's some cash for whiskey. Ryan, enjoy. And Gorgonak with a sub. Gorgonak, welcome back, gamer. Thank you so much.
Gorgonak's good people.
Gorgonak is a cute people. But I think that's enough for RGH After Dark. We're going on an hour and a half here. And we've got another episode next Wednesday, so we don't want to save all the juicy topics. We can't use them all up today, right?
Dude, like the gaming gods, bro. Like Wednesdays, and like it just feels like when we go live, we're hitting like groundbreaking, massive news.
Yeah.
Like we didn't break obviously, but we right when the Activision Blizzard stuff was breaking, we went live. We talked about that. We were one of the first people to talk about that. And then now Timthetatman leaving, like it's like all this Twitch stuff is happening. The Twitch, day off Twitch thing happening today. All this crazy stuff. So, and, by the way, what happened with that? Because I saw you post that, Tash.
Mm-hmm.
And did Twitch even say anything about this?
They haven't said a word. They said goodbye to Lupo and Timthetatman, but they didn't say, oh, by the way, we're gonna stop all this shit. Maybe they will. I don't know. But I did see some posts where like people are going on Sully Gnome, which shows like how many people are watching Twitch at one time. There's like API stuff there, and there was like thousands of streamers not normally streaming during their time slot, like 5,000 I think it said, and then over 500,000 viewers were unaccounted for. So maybe that's something. I don't know.
It's a splash for sure.
It's got to mean something.
How do they not, like, it's just so obvious. You at least release a statement and say, hey, you know what, we appreciate everyone doing this, and we stand behind you in trying to spread awareness to these issues. Rest assured, we are working on it. Here are some of the examples of things we're working on. List a few things. And like, I could be your PR person. I could be your PR person. I'll work for cheaper, Twitch. I'll work for cheaper than whoever is doing it right now. Let me tell you. Because, like, the fact that they don't, like... They said something on August 8th, I think, and it was the only thing, and it was very vague. It was like, yeah, we're working on it.
Right.
And it's like, at least give some examples of things you're targeting. Like, we are targeting, we are looking at not having the ability to make multiple accounts using the same email address. That's a big one. Like, so you ban me, I can make a new account with the same email address, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, and like... There's no permanence to anything you do. You can mute someone and ban them. Like I was telling you, some guy made like Mtashed, I banged your wife 17, like just over and over and over. There's nothing you can do about it as a streamer. So it's like now multiply that by 1,000 bot accounts, and it's like, okay, you're screwed. You're literally screwed. There's nothing you can do. So thank you guys so much for watching. This was episode 50 of the RGH podcast. It would have been the 1 year, like 52, but. We got delayed a little bit. It actually has been a year of RGH podcast, but I think maybe on the 52 we'll do like a little celebration. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll show up to Kackis's house.
How about for our?
I'll be in a hot tub.
How about for a 1 year celebration? We can actually get paid.
We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, my hot tub actually comes on October 10th. So.
Oh. Is it
out.
worth driving up the 3 hours to get to your house and get in a hot tub and do a hot tub stream?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
bring your wife though, because then she's.
Dude, would you actually set up somehow to stream from the hot tub? No way. You'd have to
laptop.
You'd have to set that up.
Laptop and an Ethernet cord out the window. Are you kidding me? Easy, bro. Easy. I'm going to buy the cables today.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
we gotta. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. This has been RGH 50. I'm Mtashed.
I'm KackisHD.
I'm True Vanguard.
Thank you, Chris, for the new member right before we leave.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Didn't
Chris.
forget about you.
And we will see you next week at 9 p.m.
Or
Eastern
9-month
Time.
member. See ya.
Bye.